everything you just said today.
Tomorrow's a good day.
Okay, no worries. I figured I would stop by. I don't live that far away, so I figured I'd stop by.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have you want me here and not be
No,
here,
I
so.
appreciate that.
Okay. Yeah, I tried to take your document and work it into the. I tried because I knew there was a lot of word processing.
I'll have to stop.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I like to
So,
see.
all right, I will wait to hear from you. Hopefully, we'll start at like the third.
Either tomorrow or Wednesday.
Okay.
I will talk to you.
Perfect.
Fair?
I didn't want to
No.
not show up and have you.
Thank you.
So
Appreciate it.
We're going to get started in about 2 minutes, according to my watch.
Feels good in here. Not complaining.
Good.
This is an official cheap watch.
Okay, folks, welcome to the Lancaster Town Board Work Session for May 20th, 2024. This evening, we are going to have a presentation from Richard. It says Richard and Ann Cizak, Ransom and Broadway Subdivision. Is that what you're going to be talking about? Okay, if you could come up and state your name and company you're with, and then go ahead with your presentation. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm not up to the tech yet. I don't know if we're going old school. My name is Jason Burford. I'm with GPI Consulting Engineers. And I do have 11 by 17s for the board, if you'd like those.
Yeah, I'll take one of the copies. Does everybody want one?
Grab me two. I'll put one here for.
Thank you. An extra?
You can have this one for the record.
Thank you.
Yes, on behalf of Richard and Ann Syka, we're proposing a 5-lot subdivision on the corner of Ransom and Broadway. This 5-lot subdivision is approximately 7.8 acres. Obviously, it's in the zoned, the RA district with the access management overlay there. So we assume there will be requirements for variances for frontage and a minimum lot size as well. We're proposing a minimum frontage of 150 feet and a minimum lot size of 1.5 acres. Utilities are obviously the water from the road, there'll be septic, and they understand that only 4 lots will be able to be sold in the first 5 years due to the health department requirements for on-site septic. That's pretty much it. You will notice, looking closely, that the neighbor has infringed on the back lot. The owners are currently endeavoring to work that out with that neighbor who built the shed on their property. So that'll be part of the process as well.
So this is going to be, this is private property right now.
Private property.
It's going to be turned into a development of 5 houses?
Five
That are going to be
houses,
sold?
Single-family homes. The lots will be sold. I don't anticipate that the Sycos will be, building these at all. They'll probably sell them to a builder, home builder.
How does this fit into our moratorium right now?
Well, it's more than 4.
Yeah.
And it is single family, so consider it all you want, obviously, but I don't see that you're gonna get approval here until, you can give them subdivision approval if you want, but they're not gonna get permitted.
Yeah, we understand that.
Oh, okay.
According to the moratorium letter, if we need to apply for a variance to that moratorium, we will do that as well, as part of the process. So we are aware of that.
Okay. At this point, again, based on the moratorium, I can't recommend that it move forward. What does the rest of the board want to do?
I say we stay under the moratorium and we can't move forward.
Councilmember, what would you like?
I would say that we should just hold off right now because we have a moratorium and we're trying to put some additional.
Same there? Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much for coming.
All right, thank you.
Okay, we're going to go around to our different Lancaster Highway Department heads and see what's going on. We're going to start with Ed tonight, Ed Schiller, our town engineer.
What we've got? We've got the Seabrook Road culvert. We did the kickoff meeting with DOT. I've met out there with a consultant. Design is underway. Environmental studies, survey started today, and I believe they did borings, soil borings either last week or they'll be done this week. So moving ahead. The only thing that will affect the schedule is DOT review. So as fast as we can get them to review something, we can move it along. Town Hall soffits, that work started today. Front's closed off. I don't have a duration yet. I'm probably gonna go up there and take a look at where they are. Let me see. The connecting Lancaster, we did the 3 walkovers. I got those reports so we can sit down and kind of look at those and figure out what we want to do for that. We're also in discussions with our grant writer on those too to see what monies are available for doing something with those. The Ellicott Creek, the consultants initiated the project. They expect to be reaching out in about a week or so to have a first discussion. But they've been doing map research and some field research right now to gather some information. And then the police building facade, we have a meeting Thursday morning with members of the police department, the architect, Dawn, Bruce, and myself to look at what the options are and what the cost ramifications are going to be. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Matt?
Well, we've got a very active couple of weeks, a lot of projects underway, some old ones finishing up, a lot of property maintenance inspections and notifications, cut the grass kind of situations, but it's been a pretty wet spring. It's understandable, but we still need to identify those properties. And we're doing the best we can.
Okay, thank you. John Pilato?
How we doing? Keep this short, sorry. Okay, so we're paving. We milled last week. Our guys killed it. Want to thank Chief DeWager for the help, the Village of Depew, Newstead. It's great that everyone can come together and, pitch in and give us a hand. And we're paving now, so it's going to take us the week. I want to put it to the board and to the residents. We're a little bit behind on brush. We're inundated with it, but we're paving. So we're able to send 2 grapplers out tomorrow because we're getting a couple more trucks from Clarence and Newstead. So we're just asking them to be patient. This is the heaviest time of the year, right before Memorial Day. We're getting tons of calls, but we're paving. So, that kind of comes first. But we are on it, and that's really it.
Okay. You want anything on the town website that says you're going to be picking the stuff up as you can? Just send us
out there.
whatever you want.
Yeah, we got 2 grapplers out, but we can't send small trucks out or chippers because we just don't have the guys. But we're doing the best we can to stay on it, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Mr. Stutz?
Good evening, Honorable Town Board. Bruce Stutz, Lancaster Parks, Recreation, Forestry, and Buildings. A couple of resolutions before the board today. The big one, number 9, the multi-purpose turf field. Obviously, our department is in favor of that. More fields for the youth and adults in our community would be awesome. Appreciate Bob, Don, our whole recreation committee that kind of got the ball rolling. Hopefully, the board will support that project. But it's super exciting from where we were a couple months ago to where we're at potentially tonight. So I want to thank the board and for all your hard work with that. It's awesome. Number 17, everything I'm hearing is good stuff about the baseball fields, softball fields. We're knocking them off. We have a lot of clay. Hopefully we can get past on resolution 17. So we knocked off about 9 out of the 20 some fields. So if the resolution moves forward today, we'll target hitting the Kiza fields, the Kiza 90, the Kiza 70, Miller Field, which is centrally located. Doesn't look great right now, but we'll hopefully by the end of the week, we'll more clay. And also Meadow League. So we get some feedback that those fields are a little bit behind Westwood and Walnut Pond. As far as the parks and also the buildings, Don's been working great for and the grant committee, helping us get at least the process going with being more proactive with the grants. So potentially cameras for the buildings and also hopefully some significant improvements for the pools. So thanks, Don, for helping out with that. It's a lot of work that they're doing. On the rec side, Meadow League Splash Pad is open today. So with the 80-degree temperature, perfect timing. Brickyard open for practice on Sunday, so we're not quite ready for games yet, but the initial feedback has been great on that field. The playing surface is great. Still want to thank the highway department for all the drainage out there. It looks awesome. The field looks great. One last component is the backstop, the netting, and the post. So right now, the last update from the GC was the chip in the last week of May. So figure about 7 to 10 days once we get that in. Once that backstop's in, the netting is up. We're going to do some stadium seating behind the backstop once we have access to that, and hopefully we're still targeting games early June. So we've missed some of those dates. We apologize for that, but we're still targeting early June to have that field ready for games. So, and on the buildings, another one on the building side, Ed and Matt, the AC in the building department. I think you brought it up last meeting.
Yep.
Has been completed. I'm guessing it's working fine. So. That's about all I have. Any questions?
No.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, yep.
Captain?
Good evening.
Thanks
Captain
for
John
being here.
Sliders, Lancaster PD. Just a couple things. The cars on the agenda for tonight, I appreciate the support in that. It's going to save us substantial money over the next couple of years to get those in now rather than have to purchase all new different brand vehicles and then outfit those. So I appreciate that. Grants. I met with Nick and one of the grant writers last week and started getting the ball rolling with some discussions. We're working on the Bulletproof Vest grant and the COPS grant right now. And last but not least, the actually related to the grants, I don't know if you all are aware, but I think it came out last week, the state issued a tech grant, money for tech grants. So we received, I don't remember the exact dollar amount, it was $72,000 roughly. And that's for, we can use that towards a, basically it provides 3D imaging of a crime scene, accident scene, something like that. It's going to save a lot of time out there with that. And we plan to buy some mini drones that can help with some operations. And finally, the UPS is very, very close to being done. We just need a date from from O'Connell to finally do the last portion of that job, and then we'll be done. So it's been a long process, but we're there. All right.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate it. Good, that is. Diane?
I have nothing, thank you.
Okay, Tom?
Thank you.
Okay. All right, why don't we run through the resolutions real quick, and we'll go from there. Okay. First resolution is mine, affirm the minutes of the regular meeting of the town board held May 6th. Second one is to approve the audited claims. Councilmember Dickman is not going to be here tonight. Councilmember Studley is going to be taking care of Councilmember Dickman's. Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So number 3 is to acknowledge the issuance of building permits.
Okay, number 4, appoint Youth Bureau tutor part-time temporary seasonal. Councilmember Studley.
I have 5, 6, 7, and 8. 5 is authorized game room license at Regal Cinemas. 6 is confirm membership roster for Town Line Fire Department. 7 is confirm the membership roster for Twin District. And then number 8 is authorized auction of surplus building department vehicle.
Okay, number 9 is adopt bond resolution for Walden Pond Park Turf Field. Number 10, Councilmember Schroeder.
That is designated the town as lead agency on our water line on Erie Street.
Number 11 is approve increase in improvement of facilities, Consolidated Water District. Number 12, adopt bond resolution for Consolidated Water District. Number 13, adopt bond resolution improvements Enchanted Forest South pedestrian bridge. Councilmember Burkhart, number 14 through 16.
Okay, all of them read the same. Adopt bond resolution, machinery and apparatus, Highway Department.
Okay, Councilmember Schroeder, number 17.
That is approving the expenditure of funds for the clay for the ball fields.
Okay, number 18 is appoint Parks, Recreation, and Forestry part-time temporary seasonal employee. Number 19, Councilmember Schroeder.
I think is very cool, granting permission to Shakespeare in the park, Delaware, to use our band shell for their performance.
Okay. Number 20, amend resolution adopted December 18, 2023, adopt seeker negative declaration for a minor subdivision on Bowman Road. Councilmember Studley, number 21.
This is the approval of purchasing 5 vehicles for the police department.
Okay, number 22, grant permission to Lancaster Town Band, Youth Bureau Band Shell. And number 23, amend resolution adopted May 6, 2024, restart part-time temporary seasonal employee for the Highway Department. Okay, that takes care of all our resolutions. Does anybody else have anything for the work session itself? Okay. I did notify everybody that we did locate another piece of property in Westwood Park. We're going to go out and take a look at that on Wednesday morning at about 8 o'clock with a mapper to go through there and tell us where the wetlands are on that one and see if that can be utilized for anything that we need. John will be there, Bruce will be there, right? You're not off then, right, Bruce? Okay, and Ed will be there. So we're going to go out and take a look at it, see how that works out. We're also going to start looking at the playground. The playground needs some work on it. We're going to see what we can do with the playground. We got a playground company coming in on Thursday morning at 9 o'clock, and again, we'll be meeting with them and see what we can do with the playground, and we're going to move forward with something new in there, or see what we can do with it. So, okay, all right. That's all I got. Why don't we take a break until 7 o'clock? Thank you.
Hey, Bob.
Yes, sir.
The playground guys Thursday or Wednesday?
Thursday, 9 a.m. Yeah, no, we were having that discussion. I thought we were walking Thursday at first, but, so it's 8 a.m. Wednesday, 9 a.m. Thursday.
Okay, sorry. I didn't know if it was missing.
I may have a conflict, but I don't necessarily need to be there.
Okay, when can you be there?
I need to show you. Westwood is not very expensive.
Not later in the morning, probably like 11.
Okay.
Is the guy coming from out of town, or?
Yeah, he's coming from out of town. If you can change your other one, I greatly appreciate it. He's coming from Syracuse, I believe.
Unless he's got some back there. 8 o'clock. I mean, he's up early.
Yeah, I'll call him and see if we can do it a little later, but then we got to re-coordinate with everybody.
If not, I'll try to readjust some stuff if I have to here.
Okay. I'll let you know tomorrow.
Okay, that's fine, thanks.
Yeah.
Depending where he is, it's 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he may sit back and say,
Okay.
yeah, I'll sleep in for a little while longer and get you later. I know, that's what I do.
All right, we'll see if we can get it a little bit later. Hey, John and Bruce, are you guys available? We move back that meeting with the playground guy till later in the day, like 10 o'clock as opposed to 8 o'clock? I'm sorry, 9 o'clock? Wednesday? Yeah, no, that's the walkthrough. On Thursday, the playground guy is going to be there at, right now, 9, but if we move it back till 10 o'clock? Okay. Bruce? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, because we have an 8 o'clock about police frontage, so we're going to move the walkthrough to 10.
Okay. Great.
Where is that meeting?
Can't
Here?
start early, can we?
Police building frontage
Yeah.
here or at the police department?
Here.
Here.
I did just communicate with that. Can we have first an executive session on what you and I discussed in my
Sure.
office? Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
You get you out of the way first.
Okay.
Got pad. How did you get the pad? Use an old suspended from the drawer.
Okay.
Garbage truck broke down, so I'm fielding, I put out a social media post for people to leave their garbage out. It's my neighborhood actually too, so, for people to leave their cans out because they'll be picked up first thing tomorrow morning, so fielding texts.
Get the message out there?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you CC Jen and share it on that
Well,
one?
I put it out on Facebook.
Put it, okay.
Yeah. Because people. Yeah, I think, did AJ, because he gave me a map, it'll be. Where's AJ? No, I'll send the map to the girls, so when they get cards. Or take yesterday, so. Go for half a smoke. I can't go out the front. Just got, I couldn't duck on the side though.
I know. I tried to.
It's a trick. It's always nice.
It's nice in here.
I'll take it because it dries it out.
You know, it is trying things out there.
Yeah, you're right.
I just looked up the number and gave it to John.
I literally gave it to him and I said, "How are you doing? I see you. Good luck." There's no beaver dam. Those are like beaver dam. No, it's like trees.
Did you walk down there? Or did your birds and beavers? We didn't see it. Oh, it wasn't terrible. Oh, my paper? That's great. And then they called him up and tried
I didn't know what to do.
I think we would look off, and I would say, I'm gonna give them some kind of the other side.
I'm sure you're going to be 16 years old, but, you know, the peers, parents or whatever, he's just going to try to, he's just going to try to play it down to a parking ticket. Because he wanted to see the Lancaster because he was right. So,
Yeah, that's, I sure don't know about that song, even if you float around that area. Right behind.
so that's okay. You know? So I went to I think friend Thomas Irving because you know you control time, right? It's
Tree over behind the middle league. Gary called last week. Look at this tree. Was it the other side of the sea or the two one?
I get a Carlton, Clarence on there.
Oh, yeah, man.
They said,
too, it's like, right up on the park. Yeah, it said it's ours, Gary. It's like the crick, the property. They said they got it out, it was like, I know how they were gonna get it out. It was cracked, huge, at least half the tree, leaning over the guy's shed and pool.
Oh, yeah.
Good windstorm, they brought it down.
I don't want to.
Yeah,
Maze got in there, got it down, now it's down, now they gotta get it out.
The New York Ford stuff was announced, so we're going to talk about it a little bit.
Okay.
They can't grab it.
Nice. I saw the email.
All right, yeah.
Did you get any more info?
Printing it out right now. Diane's printing it out, so. Was it?
My motion's already granted.
Pretty much, yeah. It's going to be, take your time.
What car are you getting? So what car are you getting?
Is it 14, 2014? 12 years old.
Okay, 14.
Because once it gets to
How many
the
miles got on the old one?
Oh, the number, yeah, okay. Yeah,
those all.
okay, so I'll read the first one, I'll read everything.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, just do it.
So
Okay.
we don't have to read the other one.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's a good point.
These cars are so expensive.
Young at heart.
Always thinking.
You know, I'm with you there. Garrett and I were putting up our new gazebo, our tech chairs. Gazebo took oops, so I traced it down. We started building the gazebo. We were building it to the last time. Yeah, there's 2 floors above. There's 3 floors. My father did build
One thing we gotta find is
it. Everest is in the old build on the first floor.
management plan.
And then we use the new build.
Is the original resolution is now adopted the stormwater regulation.
Oh, way back. Oh, yeah, we can,
That's what I'm trying to figure out when, to like, at least zero in on a year.
oh, yeah, yeah.
Sometimes it's code, and a lot of my code is a footnote
No,
when certain things are adopted.
I'll get it quick here.
Okay, good. I don't know what they want to do.
Got 71 cars.
2007. That's, I guess.
Garrett's holding it.
Is it 8 or 8? 8.
Okay, we're gonna get going. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Lancaster Town Board meeting for May 20th, 2024. Diane, roll call, please.
Councilmember Burkhart.
Here.
Councilmember Dickman. Councilmember Schroeder.
Here.
Councilmember Studley.
Here.
Supervisor Leary.
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and also the invocation, which will be performed tonight by Councilmember Schroeder.
I pledge allegiance.
Please remain standing.
Tonight I'd like to share a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. The purpose of life is not to be happy. It is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, and to have it make some difference that you have lived and lived well.
Thank you. Okay, tonight we have 23 pre-filed resolutions. We have one suspended resolution. We'll have one public hearing starting at 7:05. And we got 2 executive sessions tonight, one personnel matter, the other one a legal issue. Tonight we're going to close in memory of Gloria Bondro, Arlene Durkovitz, and Phyllis Dickinson. All right, we don't, because we're going to keep talking for a little bit and then start the meeting at 7:05. I don't want to get into having people come up and address the suspended or the suspended or pre-filed resolution. I do want to bring up that apparently there's a press announcement out there about the New York Forward money that the village applied for through New York State in cooperation, part of it, with the town of Lancaster. It's my understanding that the Town Hall and the Opera House got $1,156,000, which will be spent to fix the place up upstairs, do some things outside, replace a lot of the windows in the building here, so we're very happy that that's going to happen. Want to thank the Village of Lancaster and Mayor Ruda for her assistance with this, and again, it was done in cooperation with the Village of Lancaster. Does anybody have anything from the town board at this point in time? Any of your official reports or reports of the town board committees? Okay, no? All right. And, oh, we still got a couple minutes. Let one person get up there? Sure, why not? Okay. All right, at this point in time, persons who want to address the town board on pre-filed or suspended resolutions only. The town board will hear the concerns of persons desiring to address the town board on any pre-filed or proposed suspended resolutions for a total period of 30 minutes. We'll break it when we do the public hearing, and then we'll go back to it. Any individual who wants to come up and talk about the pre-filed resolutions, please raise your hand. Give your name and address to the town clerk, speak directly to the town board members, and speak once for 5 minutes or less. Does anybody want to address the town board at this time? Yes, sir. Come on up here. Give your name and address, and you're talking about one of the pre-filed resolutions or the suspended resolution?
Pre-filed.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Dave Chavez. I live at 3670 Bowen Road, so I'm part of the pre-filed resolution updating the seeker for, we're seeking turning my mother's property into a minor subdivision, and I'm just wanted to confirm that after the resolution today fixes any discrepancies in the SBL numbers on the seeker, that we would expect that at the June 3rd meeting then, that we should finalize the overall approval of the minor subdivision at the June 3rd meeting.
Yeah, we had a meeting on it. It will be presented at the next town board meeting. Okay? And again, then it'll be up to the town board to vote on it at that point.
Great.
Okay?
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Since it is 7:05 on my watch, we're going to move into our public hearing at this point. Can I have a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion.
Second.
Mark and I got it.
Okay, on the roll?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, I'm going to read the legal for the public hearing. Whereas the town board of the town of Lancaster, herein called town board and town respectively, in the county of Erie, New York, as pursuant to town law created the town of Lancaster Consolidated Water District, and whereas the town board has directed William Shutt and Associates, P.C., competent engineers licensed in New York, to prepare a map, plan, and report for a water system capital improvements project within the district, and whereas such water systems capital improvement project will generally consist of, but not limited to, the installation of approximately 4,000 linear feet of water main along various roads in the town, along with pavement rehabilitation and the installation of fire hydrants, valves, and appurtenances, as well as other improvements as more fully identified or contemplated by such map, plan, and report prepared by William Shutt and Associates and referred to above, all of the foregoing to include all necessary site work, equipment, apparatus, and other improvements and costs incidental thereto and in connection with the financing thereof, collectively the district improvement. And whereas pursuant to the district of the town, the engineer has completed and filed with the town board such preliminary map plan and report for such increase in improvements of facilities of the district, and has estimated the total cost thereof to be an estimated maximum amount of $1,775,000. Said cost to be financed by the issuance of serial bonds of the town in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $1,775,000, offset by any federal, state, county, and/or local receipts Now, therefore, be it ordered that a meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster will be held at the Town Hall, 21 Central Avenue, right here on May 20th, 7 o'clock or shortly thereafter, to consider said increase in improvements and facilities of the district and to hear all persons interested in the subject thereof concerning the same or for such other action on the part of the Town Board with relation thereto and may be required by law, and be it further ordered that the expense of said increase in improvements of the facilities shall be financed by the issuance of serial bonds of the town in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $1,775,000, said amount to be offset by any federal, state, county, and/or local funds received, and unless paid from other sources or charges, including but not limited to water rents, the cost of said increase and improvement of facilities shall be paid by the assessment, levy, and collection of special assessments from several lots and parcels of land within the district, which the town board shall determine and specify to be especially benefited thereby, so much upon and from each as shall be in just proportion to the amount of benefit conferred upon the same, to pay the principal of and interest on said bonds, as the same shall become due and payable except as provided by law. And be it further ordered that the town board may establish water rents as provided in paragraph D of subdivision 3 of the town law, section 198. And be it further ordered that this resolution shall constitute the declaration or reconfirmation of the town's official intent to reimburse the expenditures of said increase and improvements of facilities with proceeds of bond notes, other obligations as required by United States Treasury Regulation, section 1.150-2. And be it further ordered that the town clerk publish at least once in each newspaper designated as the official newspaper of the town for such publication and post on the signboard of the town maintained pursuant to subdivision 6 of section 30 of the town law, a copy of this order certified by said town clerk, the first publication thereof, and said posting to be not less than 10 nor more than 20 days before the date of such public hearing. Okay, so now that all that has been said, does anybody want to speak about this subject in our public hearing? Okay, probably could have cut back on everything that was read there. Okay, I'm going to put that off for a second time and for a third time. Mr. Schiller, anything to talk about at this point with this?
No, it's anticipated to do, cover Erie Street from pavement to Schwartz.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close.
Second?
Second.
Roll call?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, now we're going to get back to the pre-filed resolutions. And anybody who wishes to address the town board, as I stated before, about the pre-filed resolutions, 1 through 23, and or the suspended resolution, please raise your hand and then come up and address the town board. Anybody? Okay, go ahead. Come up here to the microphone. State your name and address. And go ahead.
Evening, Scott Myers, 10 Whitestone Lane. Thank you. So I'll be brief. This is regarding the resolution about the development at Walden Pond, the turf field and enhancements around that. Thank you for everyone who's been a part of putting that together and for everyone who's supporting it. Your efforts are greatly appreciated. This is something that honestly has been long overdue in our town. We're over 600 kids in our organization, all local kids. We haven't maybe been able to even practice on town property for well over a decade. There isn't sufficient space available for us to do it. We've been on school property. There have been talks on and off for many years, so it's very exciting to see something like this finally starting to come together, where we can get greater use of existing green space, really for the entire community, not just for our kids. Partnering up with our friends from Ponytails, who I think who will speak in a moment. The value there is great, extending our day, ultimately with lights out there and with turf which we currently lose. We've had the field swept out from under us due to bad weather, and we have to go play in a neighboring community because they have the facilities that we don't. We lose the daylight, so we have to play in a neighboring community because they have the facilities and we don't, and so on. So very excited about this initiative, and thanks for the support.
Thank you. Who's next? Go ahead.
Good evening, Jeff Matthews, 37 Bronx Road in Lancaster. I'm here with the Lancaster Dubuque Ponytail Softball Organization, 8 years in that organization, 4 years as president. Represent about 500 girls between our house leagues and travel leagues. And like Scott, really excited that here for resolution number 9 that we have some momentum for this to move forward. The travel league in this area always start their games in April, and a lot of our teams end up playing on the road. We don't have sufficient space for them, dealing with the weather at that standpoint. Our travel organization and softball in general has exploded in the last 3 or 4 years, especially travel in this area. This will give us some more diamond space and able to, the lights are part of this, so we can expand our days as well. Right now we're running into some diamond issues during the season and our tournaments that can possibly get washed out, and this will be a big benefit for our organization, and looking forward to the partnership with both football and hopefully soccer as well, to make this a multi-use facility, so it's not just, if I was up here for our organization, I wouldn't be here, but the fact that we can partner with the two other organizations along with the town's help, I think is the reason this project can hopefully be a go here today. So, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. Anybody else want to address the town board at this point on the pre-filed resolutions? Or suspended resolution? Going once, going twice? Okay. We're going to move into, I already asked about the official reports. Any official reports?
No, sir.
No. And any report of town board committees at this point?
No, sir.
Okay, then we're going to get into the presentation of the pre-filed resolutions. Number 1, be it resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of the town board held May 6, 2024 be and are hereby affirmed. Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Resolution number 2. Be it resolved that the following audited claims be and are hereby ordered paid from their respective accounts as per abstract to be filed in the office of the town clerk by the supervisor's office, to wit, check run 05202024. Total amount hereby authorized to be paid $1,054,134.50. Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Okay, Councilmember Studley will be filling in for Councilmember Dickman tonight. Councilmember Studley, number 3, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor and Honorable Town Board. I offer resolution number 3 for adoption. Resolved that the following building permit applications be and hereby reaffirmed, and there are 52 for the town and 23 for the village. Now therefore be it resolved that the building permit applications herein coded CSW for conditional sidewalk waiver be and are hereby reaffirmed with a waiver of the town ordinance required for sidewalks. However, the waiver is granted upon the express condition that the town of Lancaster at any future date reserves the right to order sidewalk installation at the expense of the property owner.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
And on the question, Mr. Fish?
Waivers?
I'm sorry?
Oh, you're asking that question, sorry.
Yeah, if there's any questions on this. Okay, Mr. Fiscione, do we have any requests for the sidewalk variance in this group?
We will have a possibility of 2, one over on Siebert Road and the other on Stutzman Road.
But as of this point in time, those have not been approved or
They have
come
not
to the
been
town
approved,
board?
no.
Okay. On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Resolution number 4. Whereas John Trojanowski, Executive Director for the Town of Lancaster Youth Bureau, by letter dated May 7, 2024, has recommended the appointment of the following individual to the position of part-time temporary seasonal at the Youth Bureau for the spring-summer season of 2024. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the following individual is hereby appointed to the following part-time temporary seasonal position at the Youth Bureau for a period not to exceed 5 months, and that this being a part-time position provides no health insurance, sick days, vacations, or other fringe benefits, and specifically mandated for part-time employees. Not specifically mandated for part-time employees. The name is James Barrent, and he's going to be a tutor at $16 an hour. Be it further resolved that the supervisor of the town of Lancaster shall be authorized to take all necessary action to implement the foregoing. Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. John Trojanowski from the Youth Bureau is here. John, is this individual with us tonight? No, he's not. Okay, thank you. Councilmember Studley, numbers 5 through 8, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor and Honorable Town Board. I often offer resolutions 5 through 8 for adoption. Number 5, whereas Premier Amusement Incorporation at 2140 Ward Avenue, Simi Valley, California, has applied for a license to operate and maintain a game room on premises, located at 6707 Transit Road within the Town of Lancaster pursuant to Chapter 78 of the Code of the Town of Lancaster. And whereas the application was referred to the building inspector and police chief for review and recommendation. And whereas the building inspector and police chief have completed the review and made a formal favorable recommendation to the town board on the issuance of this license. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the town clerk be and is hereby authorized to issue a license to Premier Amusement Incorporated to operate and maintain a game room on premises located at 6707 Transit Road with the following conditions. Application for renewal of license shall be submitted at least 30 days before the expiration of the existing license to the town clerk. A copy of the entity business certificate is submitted to the town clerk's office, and the occupant load of the game room is 25 people. Be it further resolved that said license shall be issued for 1 year from April 1st, 2024 to March 31st, 2025 in accordance with the application of the petitioner as filed in the town clerk's office, accompanied with a license fee of $600 for 8 amusement devices.
Do we have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes.
Number 6, whereas the Town Line Volunteer Fire Department by email received May 7th, 2024 has requested the deletion of 2 members from its active roster of said fire association. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby deletes the membership of the Town Line Volunteer Fire Department, the following individuals: Brett Lesser and Chad Lesser.
Do we have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes.
Resolution number 7, whereas Twin District Volunteer Fire Company by letter received May 13th, 2024 has requested the addition of the following member to the roster of said fire association. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby confirms the addition to the membership of the Twin District Volunteer Fire Company the following individual: Brandon Winder.
Do we have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes.
And number 8, whereas Code Enforcement Officer Matthew Ficcione, by letter dated May 3rd, 2024, has advised the Town Board that the department no longer has use for a 2014 Chevrolet Equinox and has therefore requested that the Town Board deem this vehicle to be surplus and permit it to be placed on an online auction. And whereas the Town Board has given due consideration to the request of the Code Enforcement Officer and deems it in the public interest to declare the aforementioned 2014 Chevy Equinox to be surplus and permits placement of said vehicle up for public bid on an online auction. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby grants the request of the Code Enforcement Officer and declares the aforementioned 2014 Chevy Equinox to be surplus vehicle and authorizes the Code Enforcement Officer to place said vehicle up for public bid with Auctions International, an online auction site, starting on May 23rd, 2024 and concluding on June 6th, 2024, with the funds received from said auction to be made payable to the Town of Lancaster and delivered to the Town Supervisor's office to be deposited in Building Department's operating budget.
Do we have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Okay, resolution number 9, which is basically a bond resolution dated May 20th, 2024 of the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster here in Erie County, New York, authorizing a capital improvements project at Walden Pond Park in the town, generally consisting of the construction of a multi-purpose turf field at an estimated maximum cost of $2,600,000 and authorizing the issuance of serial bonds in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $2,600,000 pursuant to the local finance law to finance such purpose, such amount to be offset by any federal, state, county, and/or local funds received, and delegating the power to issue bond anticipation notes in the anticipation of the sale of such bonds to the town supervisor. Whereas the town board of the town of Lancaster in the county of Erie, New York has determined to undertake a capital improvements project at Walden Pond Park in the town, generally consisting of the construction of a multi-purpose turf field. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the town board by the favorable vote of not less than 2/3 of all the members of the board as follows. Section 1, the town is hereby authorized to undertake a capital improvements project at Walden Pond Park in the town. Such work to generally consist of, but not limited to, the construction of a multi-purpose turf field, including the removal of the existing natural turf and subsoil, and the installation of a drainage system in a synthetic turf field, as well as other such improvements as more fully identified and/or contemplated by one or more reports prepared by William Shutt and Associates, P.C., all of the foregoing to include all preliminary work and necessary equipment, materials, and related site work, and any preliminary cost and cost incidental thereto, and in connection with the financing thereof, collectively the purpose. The estimated maximum cost of the purpose is $2,600,000. Section 2, the town board plans to finance the estimated maximum cost of the purpose by the issuance of serial bonds in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $2,600,000 of the town hereby authorized to be issued thereof. Therefore, pursuant to the local finance law, such amount to be offset by any federal, state, county, and/or local funds received. Unless paid from other sources or charges, there shall annually be levied on all of the taxable real property of the town a tax sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on such bonds or notes as the same become due and payable. Section 3, it is hereby determined that the purpose is an object or purpose described in subsection 19C of paragraph A of section 11.00 of the local finance law, and that the period of probable usefulness of such purpose is 15 years. Section 4, current funds are not required to be provided prior to the issuance of the bonds authorized by this resolution or any notes issued in anticipation of the sale of such bonds. Section 5, it is hereby determined that the proposed maturity of the obligations authorized by this resolution is expected to be in excess of 5 years. Section 6, the faith and credit of the town are hereby irrevocably pledged for the payment of the principal of and interest on such bonds, and by any bond anticipation note issued in anticipation of the sale of such bonds, as the same respectively become due and payable. An annual appropriation will be made in each year sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on such bonds or notes becoming due and payable in such year. Unless paid from other sources or charges, there will annually be levied on all the taxable real property of the town a tax sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on such bonds or notes as the same become due and payable. There's a lot to the bonds. Section 7. Subject to the provisions of this resolution and of the local finance law, pursuant to the provisions of Section 21, relative to the authorization of the issuance of bonds with substantially level or declining annual debt service. Section 30, relative to the authorization of the issuance of bond anticipation notes. And Section 50, Sections 56 to 60, Section 62, .00, Section 62.10, Section 63.00, and Section 164 of the local finance law, the powers and duties of the town board pertaining or incidental to the sale and issuance of the obligations herein authorized, including but not limited to authorizing bond anticipation notes and prescribing the terms, forms, and contents and details as to the sale and issuance of said bonds, and the renewals of said notes are hereby delegated to the town supervisor, the chief fiscal officer of the town, without in any way limiting the scope of the foregoing delegation of powers, the town supervisor, to the extent permitted by Section 58 F of the local finance law, is specifically authorized to accept bids submitted in electronic format for any bonds or notes of the town. Section 8, the temporary use of available funds of the town not immediately required for the purpose of or purposes for which the same were borrowed, raised, or otherwise created is hereby authorized pursuant to Section 165.10 of the local finance law for the purpose or purposes described in this resolution. Section 9, this resolution shall constitute the declaration or reaffirmation of the town's official intent to reimburse the expenditures authorized in this resolution with the proceeds of the bonds, notes, or other obligations authorized herein as required by United States Treasury Regulations, Section 1.150-2. Section 10, the town supervisor is further resolved to take such actions and execute such documents as may be necessary to ensure the continued status of the interest on the bonds authorized by this resolution and any notes issued in anticipation thereof as excludable from gross income for federal income tax purposes pursuant to Section 103 of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 as amended as the code, and may designate the bonds authorized by this resolution and any notes issued in anticipation thereof as qualified tax-exempt bonds in accordance with Section 265B3 of the code. Section 11, the town supervisor is further authorized to enter into a continuing disclosure agreement with the initial purchaser of the bonds or notes authorized by this resolution, containing provisions which are satisfactory to such purchaser in compliance with the provisions of Rule 15C2-12 promulgated by the Securities and Exchange Commission pursuant to the Securities Exchange Act of 1934. Section 12, the town supervisor is further authorized to call in and redeem any outstanding obligations that were authorized hereunder at such times and at such amounts and maturities as may be deemed appropriate after consultation with town officials and the town's municipal advisor, to approve any related notice of redemption and to take such actions and execute such documents as may be necessary to effectuate any such calls for redemption pursuant to Section 53 of the local finance law, with the understanding that no such call for redemption will be made unless such notice of redemption shall have first been filed with the town clerk. Section 13, the town has complied with applicable federal, state, and local laws and regulations regarding environmental matters, including compliance with the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, better known as SEQR, comprising Article 8 of the Environmental Conservation Law, and in connection therewith duly issued a negative declaration and or other applicable documentation, and therefore no further action under SEQR is necessary. Section 14, in the absence of or unavailability of the town supervisor, the deputy town supervisor is hereby specifically authorized to exercise the powers delegated to the town supervisor in this resolution. Section 15, the validity of such serial bonds or of any bonds, anticipation notes issued in anticipation of the sale of such serial bonds may be contested only if, 1, A, such obligations were authorized for an object or purpose for which the town is not authorized to expend money, or B, the provisions of law which should be complied with as of the date of publication of this resolution were not substantially complied with an action, suit, or proceeding contesting such validity is commenced within 20 days after the date of such publication, or 2, such obligations were authorized in violation of the provisions of the Constitution of New York. Section 16, this resolution is subject to permissive referendum pursuant to Section 35 of the local finance law. The town clerk is hereby authorized and directed to publish one time and post on the signboard of the town this resolution or a summary thereof, together with a notice of adoption of this resolution, subject to permissive referendum within 10 days after the date of the adoption of this resolution. Section 17, if no petitions are filed in the permissive referendum period, the town clerk is hereby authorized and directed to publish this resolution or a summary thereof, together with a notice in substantially the form provided by Section 81 of local finance law in the official newspapers of the town, or if no newspaper has been so designated, then in a newspaper having general circulation in the town, which newspaper shall be designated by the town board in a separate resolution. Do I have a second?
Second, bet you can't say that 3 times fast.
On the question? On the roll? Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask a question, or maybe make it more open for the public to know. So based on this, if the public comes in and wants to have this on a referendum for the election in November, it will then go to a referendum. So correct?
No,
That's not how
that's
that
not
read?
how a permissive referendum works.
Okay.
If you would describe how a permissive referendum works?
They need to assemble petitions. If they assemble
No.
petitions with enough signatures, they could vote to overrule as opposed to the board's passage.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted that to be clear because I was a little confused on that as well. And then also, do we have a time period for when people will see this next year? Would we start maybe breaking ground, or is there a time period on when the turf field would be started?
It would go out for RFP.
Go, through design and out to bid, I would guess, construction probably wouldn't be completed till next year just because of the winter and everything else.
So again, there'd be votes along the way on each step when it comes back in.
Thank you.
Certainly. On the roll.
Councilmember Burkhart.
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder.
Yes.
Councilmember Studley.
Yes.
Supervisor Leary.
Yes. Okay. For the rest of the bonds, by the way, if the board agrees, we're not going to read every single paragraph in here. Unless Councilmember Schroeder wants to. Okay, I believe section, what was it, 4 through 17?
17 are all the same.
Are all the same for all the bonds. Okay. Okay, Councilmember Schroeder, number 10, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I move resolution number 10, whereas the town of Lancaster is considering bonding for the replacement of the existing water lines on Erie Street from Cemetery Road to Steinfeld Road, on Cemetery Road from Broadway to Erie Street, and on Cemetery Road from Erie Street to Wendling Court project. And whereas the town, acting as lead agency, has identified the relevant areas of environmental concern and hereby makes the determination that the project is a type 2 action that will not have a significant effect on the environment, and therefore no other determination or procedures under the State Environmental Quality Review Act, SECRA, are required. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby declares that the project is a type 2 action under New York State SECRA, be a type 2 action under 6 NY CRR Part 617.5 C9, with no further action or determination necessary.
Do we have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll.
Councilmember Burkhart.
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder.
Yes.
Councilmember Studley.
Yes.
Supervisor Leary.
Yes. Okay, resolution number 11. Okay, resolution in order after public hearing approving the increase and improvement of facilities of the Consolidated Water District. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster, herein called the Town Board in town respectively in the County of Erie, New York, has pursuant to town law created the Town of Lancaster Consolidated Water District, known as the District. Whereas the Town Board has directed William Shutt & Associates, P.C., competent engineers licensed in New York, to prepare a map, plan, and report for a water system capital improvements project within the district. And whereas such water system capital improvements project will generally consist of, but not be limited to, the installation of approximately 4,000 linear feet of water main along various roads in the town, along with pavement rehabilitation, the installation of fire hydrants, valves, and appurtenances, as well as other such improvements as more fully identified in or contemplated by such map, plan, and report prepared by William Shutt & Associates, P.C., and referred to above, all of foregoing to include all necessary site work, equipment, apparatus, and other improvements and cost incidental thereto and in connection with the financing thereof, collectively the district improvement. And whereas pursuant to the direction of the town, the engineer has completed and filed with the town board such preliminary map, plan, and report for such increase and improvement of facilities of the district, and is estimated the total cost thereof to be an estimated maximum amount of $1,775,000. Said cost to be financed by the issuance of serial bonds of the town in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $1,775,000, offset by any federal, state, county, and or local funds received. Whereas the town determined that the purpose is a type 2 action that will not have a significant effect on the environment, and therefore no other determination or procedures under the State Environmental Quality Review Act are required. And whereas the town board issued an order at its May 6, 2024 meeting calling for a public hearing to be held on May 20th, which we held, or shortly thereafter, consider the district improvement to hear all persons interested in the subject. Whereas said notice of the public hearing were properly published and posted, and the public hearing duly held a little while ago at the time and place stated in the notices, now therefore be it resolved and determined by the town board of the town of Lancaster, based on the information provided at the public hearing as follows. Determine that it is in the public interest to increase and improve the facilities of the district as herein above described and referred to as the estimated maximum cost of $1,775,000, and is hereby determined that the parcels and lots of the district shall be benefited by said increase and improvement of facilities of the district, and is hereby determined that all parcels and lots benefited by said increase and improvement of facilities are included in the district, and it is hereby ordered that the facilities of the district shall be so increased and improved, and that the engineer shall prepare plans and specifications and make a careful estimate of the expense for such increase and improvement of facilities, and with the assistance of the town attorney, prepare a proposed contract for the execution of the work, which plans and specifications, estimate, and proposed contract shall be presented to the town board as soon as possible, and it is hereby further ordered that the expense of the district improvement shall be financed by the issuance of serial bonds of the town in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed the $1,775,000, said amount to be offset by any federal, state, county, and/or local funds received, and unless paid for from other sources or charges, included but not limited to water rents. The cost of said increases and improvements of facilities shall be paid by the assessment, levy, and collection of special assessments from the several lots and parcels of land within the district, which the town board shall determine and specify to be especially benefited thereby, so much upon and from each as shall be in just proportion to the amount of benefit conferred upon the same, to pay the principal of any interest on said bonds as the same shall become due and payable except as provided by law, and is hereby further ordered that the town board may establish water rents as provided in paragraph D of the subdivision 3 of town law, section 198, and further ordered that within 10 days after adoption of this resolution, an order of the town clerk will record with the clerk of the county of Erie a copy of this resolution and order certified by said town clerk. Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question, on the roll.
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. And this is the bonding resolution for the water project. And whereas the town board of the town of Lancaster, Erie County, New York, has established the town of Lancaster Consolidated Water District, whereas the town board has determined by resolution to undertake a certain water system capital improvements project, and whereas the town board has determined to proceed with such project, and whereas the town board desires to issue obligations of the town to finance the cost of said project, now therefore be it resolved by the town board by the favorable vote of not less than 2/3 of the section of the board as follows. Section 1, the town is hereby authorized to undertake a water system capital improvement project that will generally consist of the 4,000 linear feet of water main along various roads in town, with the pavement rehabilitation, installation of fire hydrants, valves, and appurtenances, as well as other such improvements, such fully identified and/or contemplated by such map plan, a report prepared by William Shutt Associates, PC, and referred to above, all of the foregoing, including all necessary site work, equipment, apparatus, and other improvements and costs incidental thereto, and in connection with the financing thereof, the project, the estimated maximum cost, said purpose is $1,775,000. Section 2, the town board plans to finance the estimated maximum cost of said purpose by the issuance of serial bonds in an aggregate principal not to exceed $1,775,000, unless offset by any federal, state, county, and/or local funds received, unless paid from other sources or charges, including but not limited to water rents. The cost of such improvement is to be paid by the issuance of serial bonds and by the assessment, levy, and collection of special assessments from the several lots and parcels of land with the district, which the town board shall determine and specify to be especially benefited thereby, so much upon and from each as shall be in just proportion to the amount of benefit conferred upon the same, to pay the principal and interest on such bonds, and the same become due and payable except as provided by law. Section 3, it is hereby determined that said purpose is an object or purpose described in subsection 1 of paragraph A of section 11 of local finance law, and that the period of probable usefulness of said purpose is 40 years. And then section 4 through 17 should be the same.
Yeah, they're all the same.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm going to read, section 18, this resolution is effective immediately. Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Resolution number 13. This is the bond resolution dated May 20th, 2024 of the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster, Erie County, New York. The town authorizing a capital improvements project consisting of the reconstruction of and construction of improvements to the pedestrian bridge located along Enchanted Forest South in the town at an estimated maximum cost of $150,000, and authorizing the issuance of serial bonds in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $150,000 pursuant to the local finance law to finance such purpose, such amount to be offset by any federal, state, county, and/or local funds received, and delegating the power to issue bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the sale of such bonds to the town supervisor. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster in the County of Erie, New York has determined to undertake a capital improvements project consisting of reconstruction and construction of improvements to the pedestrian bridge located along Enchanted Forest South in the town. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Town Board by the favorable vote of not less than 2/3 of all the members of the board as follows. Section 1, the town is hereby authorized to undertake a capital improvements project consisting of the reconstruction of and construction of improvements to the pedestrian bridge located along Enchanted Forest South in the town. Such work to generally consist of, but not be limited to, the removal and replacement of the existing timber, decks, stringers, joists, and any deteriorated steel, as well as other such improvements as more fully identified in or contemplated by one or more reports prepared by William Shutt and Associates, P.C., all the foregoing to include all preliminary work and necessary equipment, materials, and related site work, and any preliminary cost and costs incidental thereto, and in connection with the financing thereof. Collectively, the purpose, the estimated maximum cost of the purpose is $150,000. Section 2, the town board plans to finance the estimated maximum cost of the purpose by the issuance of serial bonds in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $150,000 of the town hereby authorized to be issued therefore pursuant to the local finance law, such amount to be offset by any federal, state, county, and/or local funds received unless paid from other sources, or charges there shall annually be levied on all the taxable real property of the town, a tax sufficient to pay the principal of and an interest on such bonds or notes on the same as the same become due and payable. Section 3, it is hereby determined that the purpose is an object or purpose described in section subdivision 10 of paragraph A of section 11 of local finance law, and that the period of probable usefulness of such purpose is 20 years. 4 through 17 are the same as we've already gone through. And okay, do I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
You know, can you hang on one second? I just want to say, a lot of people have brought this to our attention in the town board, and we've got to this as quickly as we possibly can to put that pedestrian bridge back up there, and we're happy to obviously move forward with this at this time. Sorry, sir. Go ahead.
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Okay, resolution number 14 through 16, Council Member Burkhart.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor and Honorable Town Board. I'm offering resolutions 14, 15, and 16 for adoption. Whereas the town has identified a need for smaller trucks to plow cul-de-sacs and narrow streets within the town, and be it resolved by the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster in the County of Erie, New York, by favorable vote of not less than 2/3 of all members of the board as follows. Section 1, The town is hereby authorized to acquire equipment, machinery, and apparatus for use by the town highway department, including but not limited to smaller plow trucks and salting equipment, including all necessary equipment, apparatus, and warranties, and all preliminary costs and costs incidental thereto, and in connection with the financing thereof. The estimated maximum cost of the purpose is $630,000. Section 2. The town board plans to finance the estimated maximum cost of the purpose by the issuance of serial bonds in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $630,000 of the town hereby authorized to be issued, therefore pursuant to the local finance law, such amount to be offset by any federal, state, county, and/or local funds received. Unless paid from other sources or charges, there shall annually be levied on all the taxable real property of the town a tax sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on such bonds or notes as the same become due and payable. Section 3. It is hereby determined that the purpose is a class of objects or purposes described in subdivision 28 of paragraph A of section 11 of the local finance law, and that the period of profitable usefulness of such purpose is 15 years, and section 4 through 17 is the same.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart.
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder.
Yes.
Councilmember Studley.
Yes.
Supervisor Leary.
Yes.
Resolution 15, whereas the town has identified a need for a vacuum truck to maintain various roads within the town, and be it resolved by the town board of the town of Lancaster in the county of Erie, New York, the town, by the favorable vote of not less than 2/3 of all members of the board as follows. Section 1. The town is hereby authorized to acquire equipment, machinery, and apparatus for the use by the town highway department, including but not limited to a vacuum truck, including all necessary equipment, apparatus, and warranties, and all preliminary costs and costs incidental thereto, in the connection with the financing thereof, collectively the purpose. The estimated maximum cost of the purpose is $310,000. Section 2, the town board plans to finance the estimated maximum cost of the purpose by the issuance of serial bonds in an aggregated principal amount not to exceed $310,000 of the town, hereby authorized to be issued, therefore pursuant to local finance law, such amount to be offset by any federal, state, county, and/or local funds received, unless paid from other sources or charges, there shall annually be levied on all the taxable real property of the town a tax sufficient to pay the principal of and interest of on such bonds or notes as the same become due and payable. Section 3. It is hereby determined that the purpose is a class of objects or purposes described in subdivision 28 of paragraph A of section 11 of the local finance law, and that the period of profitable usefulness of such purpose is 15 years. And again, 4 through 17 are the same.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart.
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder.
Yes.
Councilmember Studley.
Yes.
Supervisor Leary.
Yes.
Resolution 16. Be it resolved by the town board of the town of Lancaster in the county of Erie, New York, the town, by favorable vote of not less than 2/3 of all members of the board as follows. Section 1. The town is hereby authorized to acquire equipment, machinery, and apparatus for the use by the town highway department, including but not limited to a wheel loader with bucket, including all necessary equipment, apparatus, and warranties, and all preliminary costs and costs incidental thereto, and in connection with the financing thereof, collectively the purpose. The estimated maximum cost of the purpose is $430,000. Section 2. The town board plans to finance the estimated maximum cost of the purpose by the issuance of serial bonds in an aggregated principal amount not to exceed $430,000 of the town, hereby authorized to be issued, therefore pursuant to the local finance law, such amount to be offset by any federal, state, county, and/or local funds received, unless paid from other sources or charges, there shall annually be levied on all the taxable real property of the town a tax sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on such bonds or notes as the same become due and payable. Section 3, it is hereby determined that the purpose is a class of objects or purposes described in subdivision 28 of paragraph A of section 11 of the local finance law, and that the period of profitable usefulness of such purpose is 15 years. And section 4 through 17 are the same.
We have a second.
Second.
On the question, on the roll.
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
No.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
No. Okay. Resolution number 17, Councilmember Schroeder.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I move resolution number 17, whereas the park crew chief, Bruce Stutz, has requested authorization for the expenditure of funds for the purchase of Marco Clay Erie Ball Mix to be used for the maintenance of the baseball and softball diamonds throughout the town of Lancaster Parks Fields for an amount not to exceed $20,000. And whereas the crew chief solicited 3 proposals and received 3 written responses for the Marco Clay Erie Ball Mix in accordance with the town of Lancaster procurement policy. And whereas by letter dated May 13th, 2024, the crew chief has recommended that the town of Lancaster purchase the Marco Clay Erie Ball Mix from Lakeside Sod Supply Company, the only company located that can supply the specialized clay at the cost of $98.75 per ton, including delivery per their proposal dated May 13, 2024. And whereas funding for this purchase is available from the town's 2024 Home and Community Service Contractual Expenses Budget line item, now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby grants the park crew chief's request for the expenditure of funds for the purchase of Marco Clay Erie Ball Mix to be used for the maintenance of the ball and softball diamonds throughout the town of Lancaster Parks Fields from Lakeside Sod Supply Company, Goodrich Road, Clarence, New York, at a unit cost of $98.75 per ton, including delivery, which shall not exceed $20,000 per the proposal dated May 13th, 2024, and which will be paid for with funds available from the town's 2024 Home and Community Service Contractual Expenses Budget line item. Be it further resolved that the supervisor is hereby authorized to accept and execute the May 14th, 2024 proposal from Lakeside Sod Company on behalf of the town of Lancaster.
Do we have a second?
Second.
On the question, on the roll.
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Resolution number 18. Whereas Bruce Stutz, Parks Crew Chief for the Town of Lancaster, by letter dated May 14, 2024, has recommended the appointment of the following individual to the position of part-time temporary seasonal in the Parks, Recreation, and Forestry Department for the spring-summer season of 2024. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the following individual is hereby appointed to the following part-time temporary seasonal position in the Parks and Rec and Forestry Department for a period not to exceed 5 months, and that this being a part-time position provides no health insurance, sick days, vacations, or other fringe benefits not specifically mandated for part-time employees. The employee's name is Mason Cisco, located in Lancaster, laborer at $16 an hour. Be it further resolved that the supervisor of the town of Lancaster shall be authorized to take all necessary action to implement the foregoing. Do we have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll.
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. And Bruce, is this individual in with us tonight?
Supervisor Leary, Town Board, Mason was unable to attend tonight.
Okay, thank you. Resolution number 19, Councilmember Schroeder.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I move resolution number 19, whereas Shakespeare in Delaware Park, a unique theatrical outdoor experience, has requested to use the Town of Lancaster Youth Bureau's band shell located at 200 Oxford Avenue for a performance on Monday, July 1st, 2024 from 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And whereas they have executed a release of liability and assumption of risk waiver, which provides the terms and conditions for use of the band shell, and have submitted the required proof of insurance in advance for the event taking place. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby grants Shakespeare in Delaware Park's request to use the Town of Lancaster's Youth Bureau's band shell for a performance on Monday, July 1st, 2024, from 5:30 PM to 8:30 PM.
Do we have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Resolution 20. Excuse me. Whereas by resolution adopted December 18, 2023, the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster issued and adopted a negative declaration for the proposed subdivision and lot line adjustment of a combined 27-acre parcel, which encompasses 366 and 3670 Bowen Road in the Town of Lancaster, New York. And whereas the Town of Lancaster Town Board has established itself as the lead agency pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act, and the Town Board hereby ratifies such designation. And whereas due to an administrative error, on December 18th, resolution and negative declaration incorrectly listed the section block lots number SBL numbers for 366 Bowen Road and 3670 Bowen Road as 106.03-2-27 and 106.03-2-27.2 respectively, which are invalid SBLs as they do not represent the property. Whereas the location of the action identified in the negative declaration incorrectly listed 3770 Bowen Road and should have been 3670 Bowen Road. And whereas Supervisor Leary has requested that the December 18, 2023 resolution and the attached negative declaration be amended to reflect the correct SBL numbers for the parcels, namely 116.03-2-27.1, which is 366 Bowen Road, 3666, and 116.03-2-27.2, which is 3670 Bowen Road, and that the location of action on the negative declaration be corrected to 3670 Bowen Road. Now, therefore, be it resolved as follows, that the negative declaration and resolution issued and adopted by the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster on December 18, 2023, for the proposal subdivision and lot line adjustment of a combined plus a negative, this says, here we got to correct that, it says December/September 18th, it's December, right here,
Got it?
okay, which encompasses 3666 and 3670 Bowen Road, is hereby amended to reflect the correct SBL numbers for the respective parcels, and the location of action address on the negative declaration is be corrected. Be it further resolved by the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster that 1, this resolution and negative declaration shall become effective immediately and shall supersede previous resolutions and negative declarations for this project, and 2, the Town Board shall file a copy of the amended negative declaration in the file for the project. Number 3, the Town Attorney's Office shall prepare and file an amended notice of determination of non-significance with the petitioner and with all required New York State and Erie County agencies filing a copy of the letter of transmittal. Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Councilmember Studley, number 21, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor and Honorable Board. I offer resolution number 21 for adoption, whereas Town of Lancaster Police Patrol Captain Jonathan Zeiters, by letter dated May 14, 2024, has requested the purchase of 5 new and unused 2023 Dodge Charger Pursuit all-wheel drive vehicles with the law enforcement package for use by the police department. And whereas the above referenced vehicles are available for purchase under New York State's piggybacking law through the Onondaga County Division of Purchase from authorized vendor Robert Green Auto and Truck, which eliminates the need for competitive bidding pursuant to Section 103 of General Municipal Law. And whereas Captain Zeiters has recommended the purchase of the aforementioned vehicles in accordance with said specifications be made from Robert Green Auto and Truck for a unit price of $37,571.53 per the proposal dated May 14th, 2024. And whereas the Town Board deems it in the public interest to approve the purchase of said vehicles. Now therefore be it resolved as follows, that the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby approves the purchase of 5 new and unused 2023 Dodge Charger Pursuit all-wheel drive vehicles at a unit price of $37,571.53 through the Onondaga County Division of Purchase from authorized vendor Robert Green Auto and Truck in Rock Hill, New York, as proposed by the Town of Lancaster Patrol Captain Jonathan Zeiters for a total expenditure of $187,857.65 per the proposal dated May 14th, 2024, and which will be paid for with funds from the town's 2024 Public Safety Police Equipment Passenger Vehicle budget.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart.
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder.
Yes.
Councilmember Studley.
Yes, I think I had more to read.
Oh, did you? Sorry. I
Yes,
thought you were done.
I thought so too, but it says, "Be it further resolved."
Okay.
I apologize. Be it further resolved that the Director of Finance and Administration, Nicholas Swanson, is hereby authorized to appropriate funds from the American Rescue Plan, that's ARPA, account to increase the Public Safety Police Equipment Passenger Vehicle budget. Now we're done.
Okay. I'm going to continue on the question. On the roll.
Councilmember Burkhart.
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder.
Yes.
Councilmember Studley.
Yes.
Supervisor Leary.
Yes. Resolution number 22. Whereas the Town of Lancaster Youth Bureau has a band shell located at 200 Oxford Avenue, which is used to provide the community with the opportunity to attend various outdoor performances and events for their enjoyment. And whereas the Lancaster Town Band has requested to use the town's band shell for their 2024 summer concert series during the months of June, July, and August. And whereas the Lancaster Town Band has provided the required insurance certificates to the town attorney's office, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Lancaster hereby grants the Lancaster Town Band permission to use the Youth Bureau's band shell located at 200 Oxford Avenue for their 2024 summer concert series on Tuesdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., running from June 18th, 2024 and through August 13th, 2024, rain date of August 20th, 2024, if needed, except for a concert on Thursday, June 27th, 2024. Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart.
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder.
Yes.
Councilmember Studley.
Yes.
Supervisor Leary.
Yes. Resolution number 23, whereas by resolution adopted May 6, 2024, the town board of the town of Lancaster approved the following individuals for appointment to part-time temporary seasonal positions in the highway department with a start date of June 1st, 2024. And whereas John Pilato, highway superintendent for the town of Lancaster, by letter dated May 16th, 2024, has requested the following individual's start date be changed so they can begin earlier. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the following individuals are hereby appointed to the following part-time temporary seasonal positions in the highway department for a period not to exceed 5 months, and that these being part-time positions provide no health insurance, sick days, vacations, or other fringe benefits not specifically mandated for part-time employees. They include Ryan Len of Lancaster, laborer, $16.50 an hour, and Luke, how do you pronounce this? Thank you, Sukana, labor, $16.50 an hour. Be it further resolved that the supervisor of the town of Lancaster shall be authorized to take all necessary action to implement the foregoing. Do we have a second?
Second.
And on the question? On the roll.
Councilmember Burkhart.
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder.
Yes.
Councilmember Studley.
Yes.
Supervisor Leary.
Yes. Michelle, are either of these two people with us tonight?
No, they're just returned from last month.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, now we have a suspended resolution. Okay, so I'm going to request suspension of the necessary rules for immediate consideration of the following resolution, and is to make a motion.
So moved.
Someone so moved. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, on the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart.
Yes.
Councilmember Leary.
Yes.
That's not true.
Oh, well, it's all right. It was good times with the councilman.
Councilmember Schroeder.
Yes.
Councilmember Studley.
Yes.
Supervisor Leary.
Yes. Okay, the suspension was granted. The following resolution was offered by Councilmember, oh, this is going to Councilmember Schroeder. I apologize.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I move resolution, suspended resolution. Whereas the Lancaster Garden Club has requested to use the Town of Lancaster Senior Center's Pavilion for their annual plant sale fundraiser, which will be held on Saturday, June 1st, 2024, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And whereas the town has prepared a release of liability and assumption of risk waiver, which provides the terms and conditions for the use of the Senior Center's Pavilion, and which the club has executed and submitted with the required proof of liability insurance in advance of the event taking place. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby grants the Lancaster Garden Club's request to use the Senior Center's Pavilion located at 100 Oxford Avenue for their plant sale fundraiser, which will be held on Saturday, June 1st, 2024, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
We have a second.
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. The next thing we're going to do, that concludes our pre-filed and suspended resolutions for the evening. The next thing we're going to do is the presentation of communications by the town clerk. Okay. Number 247, resolution for, should be next meeting. Yeah, 4 resolution. 248, received and filed. 249, planning committee. 250, received and filed. 251, received and filed. 252, resolution tonight. 253, resolution on 5/6. 254, planning committee. 255, resolution tonight. 256, resolution tonight. 257, resolution tonight. 258, resolution tonight. 259, received and filed. 260, that'll be coming to the town board. 261, highway department and Lancaster Police Department. 262, received and filed. 263, resolution tonight. 264, going to code enforcement. 265, received and filed. 266, received and filed. 267, resolution tonight. 268, resolution tonight. 269, going to Planning and Zoning Committee. 270, received and filed. 271, received and filed. 272, received and filed. 273, Planning and Zoning Committee. 274, resolution tonight. 275, resolution tonight. And 276 for resolution. Okay. Okay. At this point in time, any person wanting to address the town board on any matter is welcome to come up and speak to the town board. The procedure will be raise his or her hand and be recognized by the supervisor, give his or her name and address to the town clerk, speak directly to the town board members, not the audience, using the microphone provided, and number 4, speak once for 5 minutes or less unless the town board grants the speaker an extension of this time limit. Does anybody want to address the town board at this time? Yes, sir.
Greg Soika, 19 Spruceland Terrace. We've all witnessed the winter storms through the years. They've seemed to have been getting a little more snow accumulations like the south towns is moving north. I heard you and Mr. Burkhart visited the highway department and saw the huge effort and struggles of the highway department battling the weather to keep the roads open for police, ambulance, people to get to work, people to get home, students to get to school. The town of Cheektowaga spent $1 million on subcontractors during the last storm. The village of Lancaster also had to hire subcontractors. I don't know the amount that they paid out, but their machinery was not up to the task. I was just asking why Supervisor Leary and Council Member Schroeder, why you voted no on the wheel loader.
Okay. The reason I voted no, first for clarification, I'm sure Mark has been to the highway several times. It was Frank Tadaro, our legislator, who went out there with me during the storm. But basically, our bond advisor recommended keeping the bonding around $5 million. Okay? With what was approved there, we have $300,000, which is coming from the county via Frank Tadaro, got it for us from the county, so brings it down. And we also have monies that were returned from FEMA to the highway department, which I was told would be used for this bonding as well. So we used that money, came up to an estimate, we're around $5 million. Additionally, I had conversations previously with Michelle and John to lease a front loader for the months that it's needed during the winter time, and it was a much cheaper cost. It would take us 20 years to get up to the point where we would be spending the amount that was being asked for tonight. So for those reasons, I voted no.
And the numbers I sent don't equal up. It was about 100,000 more, 5.1. And Westwood or Walden Ponds, you added 2.3 and today was 2.6, but the kids need it. I voted yes. So yes, I'm disappointed because this is, during the winter, nobody's at the park. We get hit with a snowstorm, you have police, fire, ambulance that has to get to you. And without proper equipment and new equipment, and it's broken, they're not getting to you. They can't open those streets up. That's why we need this equipment. It's safety.
I'm not against safety, okay? This could have been done with leasing the equipment, which was what was going to be done last year. So, you know, just for clarification, all for safety, pushed every safety concern I can. When you get into bonding, though, it's pushing us up too high.
Whereas we might be denied the bonding, and we might lose the other equipment that we went to bond for. And that's the reason why I voted no. I didn't want to lose the whole kit and caboodle by one piece of equipment. There's other means that we can seek that piece of equipment to assist our residents. And we're going to certainly look for those alleyways to look for that.
How did Walden Pond go from 2.3 to 2.6?
Because that's the amount that we came up with, where to guarantee that we'd be able to, you know, do the job, it increased. Nick isn't here to answer that at this point.
But there was
It
no
his
transparent
recommendation.
email that came to us that stated that either. Just like April 1st, we were handed about Walden Ponds. We knew, I don't know, the three of us didn't know anything about Walden Ponds until you handed that out to us. And it was months in the making.
No, it wasn't months in the making. It was, what happened with Walden Pond was very simple. It was on Bruce's recommendation. We had discussed putting a field of that sort there years ago. I talked to the football people when I ran before and lost. So this has been being talked about forever. It was on the list of what Bruce gave to us as far as, recommendations at that point. I didn't get a price on it. I reached out to a company to try to get a price on it. I got a price on it. The very next day, I don't have the emails with me, the information was sent out to the town board that we were looking at the field there. And then a few days later, it was presented to the town board at the town board meeting on the 1st. So again, I didn't have a number, came up with a number, seemed feasible, brought it to the attention of the town board. It wasn't months, I didn't have secret meetings. We did meet with the football department, football and baseball people.
And
right
soccer.
Here. And soccer people. We spoke to all of them right here in the room behind me, and they wanted to get involved in this. We found it feasible to be able to do, affects thousands of kids, so we went ahead and followed up on it once we had an estimated cost.
No one's saying that it's not impacting the youth in our community. I think that we all agree that we want this for them. I think what Councilmember Burkhart was stating is that it's the transparency of it that was, a little bit frustrating, because the budgetary estimate that we received says 2.3 million from March 26th, and this wasn't presented to us until the town board meeting on April 1st. So we didn't know about this prior to that. And then when we were discussing the bonds, we were going off of the 2.3 million. But I'm not going to belabor this anymore.
I don't know how you can say it wasn't transparent. It happened quickly, and I gained the information at the same time you all did, and it just happened quickly. That's all. It wasn't that it wasn't transparent, it just happened within a
But if you were
couple weeks.
meeting and talking with these other, entities to know about this,
We
why
didn't
didn't
know
we?
about the field at that time. We talked to the other entities because I'm the chairperson of that committee. Bruce said that the leagues wanted, the football league, the soccer league, the baseball league, whatever, wanted to get together and meet. And we spoke about what we would like to do.
Yeah, and you could have just sent us an email about
Three
that we're
people can't
working
be
on
in a
it.
room, it's a quorum.
I sent an email, not in the room together.
But it was just a meeting with the ball leagues. It wasn't, it was a wish list. It was like, how would you like to maybe go forward thinking things? And then after that meeting is when this field information came about. And I received the same information you all did at the same time.
But somebody had to give direction to get the estimate.
I made an executive decision to get an estimate to see if it was possible to even do. If that estimate had come back at $4 or $5 million, you know, I would have brought that to your attention, but we wouldn't have moved forward with it at that point. When it looked like it was feasible to do, that's when I let you know that we were looking at a field in Walden Pond Park, and then I gave you the information on the estimate that came in within days of when it came in. So that's how we came to this point.
It's just a very large lump of money that impacts the town, and we do want this for the youth. Please don't take this as we don't want that at all. We absolutely see the importance and the value of this. The discussion right now is about the transparency of how this occurred. That's what this is, so.
I beg to differ on the transparency because I was getting the information at the same time you were. I was just privy to a meeting that I had with my department head as a committee chair, and 3 people can't be in a room, it's a quorum. And past that meeting, Bob sought the information and shared it with all of us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else want to address the town board at this time? Yes, sir.
Aaron Romanowski, 363 Prospect Avenue. Just wanted to give a quick presentation about the request for waiver 260 for 53 Stutzman Road for sidewalk waiver. So I just have a site map location here.
Okay, is this? You can talk about anything. Okay.
Aaron, is it, you spoke, is it AAR?
AAR.
Atwood, thank you.
Right, so just addressing my letter to the town board, basically 53 Stutzman Road, we're requesting a sidewalk waiver from section 310-12B. Reason being is there's no sidewalk up and down Stutzman Road, and construction of a sidewalk there would lead to no pedestrian access to the adjoining properties. Just wanted to present this map so you could see the location in case you weren't familiar with the property. Any questions?
No, I have none. Anybody have any questions?
The address for the...
53?
53 Stutzman Road.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody else want to address the town board at this time? Okay, for a second time? And for a third time? Okay, we appreciate everybody coming. We're going to be going into executive motion at this time to discuss a few things. One of them personnel related and the other one legal. So can I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second? Second. Okay, on the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Thank you very much for coming, folks.
Are you
Sir.
Yep.
You're first. That's fine.